It's hot in here.
Yeah.
Nope, that's just me.
This is Another Way Around, the AwayCast, episode number 37. I am here again, back in the saddle with some new faces. Kate Ogden is on the podcast.
Hello.
Yeah, she's thrilled. You see how thrilled she is? I'm here with Greg, Andrew De La Rocca.
Hello.
Greg, did I yell too much when I did the intro?
I was just going to say.
I heard Greg
I think you're yelling right now.
Did it pop, or are you worried about your neighbors?
I'm just worried about the levels on the screen over there. If they're
Hold on, let me check these levels. Pop, pop, pop. Yeah, they're up there.
Yeah.
I don't know, now it's funny. And we're also joined by Mr. Joshua Hinkey from Chicago on the internet.
What's up?
What up, yo?
What up,
We haven't talked to Josh. We haven't all been in the same room. We haven't all done this in a long, long time.
Well, I'm never in the same room with you guys.
Greg's checking the levels. Well, next week we will be.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
I'm very excited by that.
I'm excited too.
It's PAX prime time. I'm going to meet with this handsome boy up in Seattle.
Yeah.
It's weird. We have to travel to the other side of the country to meet up.
So when they say, like, you know, New York's the Big Apple, Chicago's the Windy City, LA's the City of Angels, what is Seattle? Seattle's the
City of Suicide.
City of...
Space
Is it really?
Needle, grunge, Starbucks, you know.
Yeah, the coffee city.
Actually, it has the highest suicide rate in the United States.
Well, there you go.
Well, it's like
Suicide
Ireland.
City's not a bad name.
No,
Suicide
Suicide
City's
City.
actually kind of amazing.
I know.
Sounds
Yeah.
pretty great.
The Suicide
actually.
City? I like
Suicide
that.
City.
It's like a band name.
Yeah, I like it. Did like it.
Suicide City.
Be careful not to talk over each other, guys. This is a friendly podcast. We want to make sure everyone's has their chance to speak.
Right.
All right? So let's, we've been doing this for a while, right?
Okay,
We're veterans.
Well, I haven't.
Okay, Dad.
Greg, go to your room. Josh.
Yeah.
So, you were talking about PAX?
Yeah, I'm excited. It'll be fun. There are not as many like big appointments for this PAX, but I feel like that's kind of appropriate.
That's
I feel
great.
like the majority of stuff that's coming out is like set to go. People don't have anything to prove anymore.
Have you ever been to a Prime?
Yeah, I was at Prime last year.
Oh, well, you're going to have to show me around. Take me by the hand.
I will. I'll show. There is an amazing pizza place where you can. Oh, you won't like it. It's not like New York style pizza.
Yeah.
I immediately regret what I've just said.
Whoops. I shouldn't do that. So anyway, okay, I have an argument to settle. I have been speaking with Kate, and she's doing... Get closer to the mic when you speak, Kate. Right. When Comic-Con comes around, Kate does her cosplay thing, right? And she's really, really good at it. And she puts a lot of care, time, effort into it. And she's doing Ellie
on Friday. I'm doing Ellie from The Last of Us.
Yeah.
On Friday. And I'm just, I'm almost finished getting everything together. But yeah. So do you want to talk about our argument?
Okay. Well, actually,
but whatever. Go ahead.
You can start it because...
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I am a very big fan of the Chuck Taylor tennis shoes. I always have been, even when I was very little and I was a tomboy. And I've always been of the opinion that the older and more beat up and dirty Chuck Taylors look, the better they look.
The more dirty, you hear that, Greg? The dirtier they are, the better they look.
Whatever. I'm thinking. I'm going.
I'd hate to break it to you, John, but I am on Team Kate for this. And in fact, to prove that I was on Team Kate before this conversation, let me go acquire something. I'll be right back.
Oh, see, he's got a dirty old pair of Chucks, and they are love. Dirty Chucks and like worn in Chucks, that means you love them and you've made memories with them. Brand new Chucks, man, those are fucking bullshit Chucks.
Josh.
Yeah.
Do you think dirty shoes look better?
Dirty, not shoes, Chucks.
No, but they're also
Taylors.
Chuck Taylors are sneakers.
Regardless, the specific Chuck Taylor shoe looks better when it's more worn in. Other tennis shoes, whatever.
I don't understand this.
I don't know. Like there becomes like a point where it's gross.
Oh, of course.
My John Varvatos edition Converses were actually designed to look filthy when you bought them. The shoe itself is completely destroyed, ripped
it's
up.
brand new.
How much does that cost at retail, Greg?
It was a very expensive shoe.
You see, there is a market for it.
Designed to look like hell has broken
I
loose
actually
on the
need
shoe.
those. I need to get a pair of those, but
These
like
are
the
massive.
classic black
You won't
and
be
white.
able to fit
oh,
in
I
these.
know, but I need
These
like
are
the classic
huge.
black and white.
They're huge, folks.
But like I said, Josh, to kind of go back to your point, of course, there gets to a point where it's disgusting. Like you've got, once there's holes and
Look
there's
at
like
this.
leaking
Look at
and all
this.
that stuff.
Look at the back of the
course,
shoe here.
It's
What's happening now is Greg is showing me
talking
the
with the
heel
back
of the
of his
shoe
heel
is
of his
completely
shoe.
is completely caving in.
That's because I wore these shoes for like 2 years, and they're sand.
It looks like he wore them for generations.
exactly.
That's the whole point.
But yeah, like I said, my whole point is I'm not talking about a completely destroyed like hobo shoe. I'm just talking about
Like the one Greg is showing me right now.
Exactly. I'm more talking about a pair of Chucks that have clearly been worn and you love them, and like I say, like a worn out pair of Chucks means that that's love there.
See, I don't like that though. I don't like that love thing that you threw.
Okay,
in there.
what is
Like,
Greg-
That's what it is
I
to
get
me.
what you're saying.
Wait, hold on. Let me just guess. Greg wants it to be like I'm dirty. Like
No,
I'm
no. Relax. All I'm saying is you can love your shoes and take care of them and them not be dirty.
Of course, but like I said,
I don't think it's a love thing. I think that's very personal to you. I think
okay, it's personal to me.
You're
but
generalizing a statement about you have to, in order to love your shoes, you have to not
that's
make
not
them
what I
dirty.
mean. Nah, that's not what I mean.
Fuck,
I
you
just
bring a
mean-
girl on the show one time, and if
You guys already,
it becomes
you
shoe
guys
talk.
You guys have talked over each other the whole time you're speaking. You're yelling at each other already. What's going on?
No, we're having a conversation. No one's talking over each other.
You're talking. You just did.
But obviously, when people talk, their voices will overlap each other when they're
It is
talking to
true.
each other.
That's
Yeah, and
natural.
it's fine. And
All right,
it sounds
just
fine.
for the rest of the podcast, everyone who's listening, please pay attention to Greg and Kate for the remainder. So, Josh,
You're like a podcast Nazi today.
Yeah.
I got to make sure that we.
No,
know.
you don't.
What
Okay.
happened?
It's
Okay.
fine.
Okay. It's
Everything's fine.
Everything's
Because
fine.
if you keep bringing attention to it, then it becomes
oh my
more
god,
obvious.
you're
All right.
destroying the podcast.
Okay. You know what? I'm destroying it
One
from the
brick
inside
at
out.
a time. He's ripping it down.
Fucking you guys with your dirty ass shoes. I
I
can't
love
trust.
my dirty Chucks.
I can't trust people with dirty shoes.
Whatever.
Josh, do you
I have
trust
no
people?
fashion sense whatsoever, so I don't.
Yeah,
have
but
no
you know to
opinion
keep
on this.
hygienic with your clothing.
I just
Yeah, I wash them. I think that's a main point in what I do is I wash my clothes.
Like I like it when I have a pair of Chucks or a pair of Cons or something, and you clean that white spot, the white toe area. You wipe it down. You make
I
them
don't
brand
do
new
that.
again.
I don't clean my shoes ever.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I have to admit I have never ever
don't
cleaned my shoes.
clean your shoes.
I pretty much just wear them until they're so gross that you just can't wear them anymore. And then that's when you get a new pair of shoes.
Yeah,
See?
exactly.
I've always
shoes
been
are like
taught-
keyboards. Like, you have a keyboard, and then eventually there's crumbs getting to the cracks, or
Yeah, you
like
don't clean
the
it.
E button doesn't work. You don't clean your keyboard. You just get a new one.
Get a new
Yeah.
one. Exactly.
What the hell's going on?
And what to kind of what we were talking about earlier is like, okay, so when I was younger and I had like my first pair of Chucks and I wore them and just wore them out completely. But again, they weren't like, I'm not talking about like dirty, disgusting. I'm just talking about worn in, like not bright,
Loved.
pristine, brand new love.
Loved.
Exactly.
She
but
loved
then,
them.
but then, oh, okay, it's time to buy a new pair because I really can't wear these anymore. Go and get a new pair. And it was just crazy seeing these like brand new Chucks, like these pristine white, black Chucks. And it's like,
and you're
ew,
like,
I didn't like it. I wasn't used to it. I was used to the worn in ones and I like the
what
worn
did
in
you?
ones.
I mean, did you get them dirty?
Of course I had to buy them, but I didn't attempt to
See,
get
when
them
you
dirty.
ne-
It
when
just
you
happens.
when you get them dirty on purpose, they don't look right.
Exactly. That's why I'm having an issue right now, because back to the whole Ellie cosplay aspect, obviously she wears Chuck Taylors, and obviously it is in a post-apocalyptic zombie type setting. So I can't really have pristine shoes. So I'm going to have to start, wearing them out right now. And hopefully by Comic-Con, they'll be a little bit more worn in. But you're right. If you try to make them dirty, if you're like trying to dirty them up for something and they're brand new, it doesn't work.
People are going to walk up to you and
They're
be
gonna be
like, your
like, "What the fuck
costume
is this?"
sucks. Those
Exactly.
shoes look like you made them dirty on purpose.
Exactly.
You even
Exactly.
care about cosplay? Oh my,
I'm almost on the verge of going to eBay and like trying to actively find a dirty old pair.
You should just keep an eye out for people that pass you on the street with dirty Chuck Taylors and just buy their shoes.
swipe them. Exactly.
Yeah.
Or pay for them, whatever. Yeah, sure.
you could probably find some weird foot fetish thing on Craigslist,
Sure.
looking for a pair of dirty Chucks.
Dirty Chucks.
Bring them to this address here. Anyway, I'm in the minority. We figured it all out. I'm the only one who likes clean shoes or cleans their shoes.
Chucks. Not dirty. I like worn-in Chucks.
Josh,
loved Chucks.
Now, how often do you guys wear a pair of jeans before you wash them?
Until they stand up on their own.
Okay.
Is this a different story, Greg?
It depends on the weather.
Okay, yeah, the rain will definitely, especially if you don't have a good hem.
No, that's not. All right. So in the summertime, clothing in general just gets washed way more often because it's fucking hot out. I wash clothes. In the wintertime, though, my jeans probably hardly get. I mean, they get washed like very rarely.
You don't sweat as much. Yeah. You just don't.
And I'm not out doing things that make me dirty. You
want to stay inside.
I sit in a desk all day. I play, on my computer.
Right.
So. Why are we talking about clothes? What's going on here?
Because we started with Chuck Taylor's.
But how do we get to? Why are we on denim?
Because I was curious how you treat your other articles of clothing.
But shoes, I mean, I don't really consider shoes like clothing. Like we were all saying, like we don't really wash our shoes.
John does.
I'll scrub my shoes. My father's always taught me it's important to have a clean pair of shoes. You ever heard that Johnny Cash song? That Johnny Cash song?
God, sing a line for us.
Sing it.
It costs you a dime about a nickel a shoe.
It costs you a dime about a nickel a shoe. Does $1 million worth of good for you. Get rhythm.
See? Got to clean your shoes. Does $1 million worth of good if you clean your shoes.
Like fancy dress shoes. You don't shine like tennis shoes. You don't go to the shoe shine boy and get your tennis shoes shined. That's weird.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, we saw Ninja Turtles over the weekend.
Is it as bad as everyone says? It sounds like there was a human rights atrocity committed in theaters.
Josh, let Kate do her thing first, because before we went to see the movie, Kate was just like, she loved it before it came out because a lot of people were ranking on it, so she was trying to be the white knight of it, kind of like telling everyone, telling everyone like, fuck off, just like it anyway, just go into it.
Not even like it anyway, just give it a chance, give it some kind of a chance.
Give it a chance.
Because I was seeing a lot of stuff that looked, anyway.
So Kate is definitely, for those of you who don't know, Kate is she'll be like our movie specialist on this podcast because she can name actors and actresses from movies in the 40s and 50s.
IMDb, sure.
And knows way too many actors and actresses' names and movies and dates.
Yep, I do.
So Ninja Turtles.
Okay, so here's the thing, guys. It was pretty bad, all right? But I think we were all in agreement that the shining part of the movie was the turtles themselves. They were perfect. They really were perfect. Their personalities were just awesome. Like they really nailed every aspect of their personalities. What I had been kind of, my whole opinion of it was it wasn't that they were focusing on April O'Neil. Like obviously they were. The focus was way too much on April and her character arc and story and her involvement. But to me, it wasn't so much about April as it was Megan Fox playing April. The fact that it was Megan Fox playing April. I love April O'Neil. She is absolutely, like, Mary Jane Watson is one of my top favorite, female characters, but April O'Neil was way before that. When I was really little.
Thing for redheads.
I've got a big thing for redheads, you guys. But April was like the first, she was my first, girl that I looked up to, and so I love her.
Wish April was my first, what I'm saying, dude?
You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Greg?
So anyway, so having April be more involved, that's cool, fine, whatever. But I feel like it was just a blatant Megan Fox push, and she's just not good enough to
Greg, do you agree with that?
Hold a movie like that.
Can I tell you about my experience in Ninja Turtles?
See, I think I had the same problem each of you had respectively, in both respects. So go ahead, Greg. I like your problem too.
I just want to start from the beginning of Ninja Turtles real quick. I want to give you guys our full experience in detail, and I'm not going to give you a review of the movie.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
Do you mind that we're talking about it? I know you haven't seen it yet.
I'm not going to see it.
I'm not giving you a review, so don't worry about it. All right?
Go for it. Let's hear it. I can't wait.
We get to the theater. It's me, John, and Kate. Okay?
God.
We're sitting in the movie theater waiting for the movie to start. We're sitting in the theater waiting for the movie to start, and we're sitting there.
John starts getting a message.
I got it.
Yeah.
Watching the coming attractions, and we're sitting there, and John gets a text from his dad. His dad goes, Robert Williams is dead. And
like my dad just did it.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then John looks at me and goes, Robert Williams is dead. And I honestly, I laughed and I said, okay, because immediately I was going to Google it and it's going to be like, a rumor, a hoax. Yeah, because like, why, Rob Williams. So turns out Rob Williams is actually dead. So I look over at John and Kate. John looks like he got hit in the head with a brick, and Kate looks like she got hit in the head with a truck. She's all upset.
Kate was crying hysterical.
Kate was crying in the movie theater,
sobbing.
and I'm like, all right, this is gonna be a great movie.
And then Greg goes, "Are you crying?"
And I'm like,
no. What I actually said to her was this: I said, "Are you fucking crying?"
Yeah.
Is what I actually said.
It was horrible.
I don't know. When girls cry,
Horrible.
I just get mad for some reason. I don't know what that is.
It was really bad.
You think you
hear
have
that,
any
ladies?
right?
Greg is still single.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder
That's true.
why.
Anyway, so that's how the movie started.
Yeah,
And then the whole movie, again, I said this in the theater, they should have called it April O'Neil the movie, because not only was it all about April, they actually changed the story of Ninja Turtles to be about April.
This is what bothered
Ugh.
me the most. This
Gross.
disconnected me from the movie the most by
They
far.
completely changed the whole story of Ninja Turtles to be some fucking stupid story about April O'Neil like feeding the turtles pizza in her dad's lab, and he's injecting them with some alien shit to make them into whatever, and then his dad kills himself because he didn't like what he's doing. A bunch of fucking it's a stupid fucking story.
It was really bad. This story was really bad. I wish they stuck with the origin story.
A lot of shit acting that'll get past kids, but isn't going to get past me.
not me.
Well, it indeed was a children's movie.
Oh, yeah.
Without a doubt. It had its necessary product placement, and we're almost immune to that at this point.
Not nearly as much as a
Transformers.
Michael Bay type. I mean, I know he was a producer, but Michael Bay is usually just like absolutely smash you over the face with product placement.
So there's this
This
point-
one wasn't as bad.
Yo, we gotta fight the Mountain Dew bot.
The Xbox 360 bot.
Puma.
There's a kid in a Transformers. There's a kid carrying an Xbox 360 box down the street. No
Yeah.
bag, nothing.
Just here, someone rob me, please.
So in Transformers,
Yeah,
in Ninja Turtles,
interchangeable.
there's this point where she's talking to someone who works at a job site that's a suspicious job site or something like that, right? And she doesn't know this guy. She gets his contact information. She doesn't know him at all. And to get the scoop, April O'Neil to get the scoop, she goes on her cell phone, on her Samsung Galaxy, and she Skypes him. And there's a big, giant Skype logo on the Skype. She's Skyping a stranger. She's like, hey, we need to get that story, blah, blah, blah. Like, why would you Skype a stranger? I barely even Skype people I know, except for you when we podcast, Josh. But yeah, there's some product
Kinda
placement. And
know
like
you.
Greg said, it'll get past the kids. But
Sure.
For us, it's like, come on. And the other part that I want to talk about with Greg is the, I'll wait till he gets back. He's opening a new pop filter. You could probably hear that. It's one of those awesome clamshell packages.
Oh God.
Yeah.
You think they would
Okay,
make
well, while
everything
you're
like
waiting,
that?
I'm going to tell you my experience with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The moment that I knew that there was a 99.9% chance I wasn't going to see this movie is that they released a song, like an ending rap for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which, like, when I heard it, I was like, oh my God, I remember the ending rap to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like, where they're standing on the roof and Splinter's like, I have always liked Cowabunga. And then they say Cowabunga,
Yeah.
and then it goes into the rap song, and I was like, oh my God, that's so amazing.
Right.
And I started listening to it,
Yeah.
and it was like Wiz Khalifa or someone like that, and it was like all that like stringy hip hop that is really big today, and I was like, you know what? I am no longer the target demo for this movie. They do not care if I see this or not. They
Yeah.
clearly want other people to see it.
That's what it is. It wasn't fan service.
Right.
It was bringing a new
They-
audience into the Turtles.
Again, though, the Turtles were like, you have to admit, like they were for the fans.
Sorry, Greg's just fixing up
Yeah,
Kate's
sorry.
mic for all that noise that's happening.
you.
And there goes mine.
yeah, I don't know. Like, I just kind of saw that, and like, it's kind of Transformers has gotten the same way too, where it's like Michael Bay. If you love the Transformers, when they originally came out, you're probably to the point now where you're like, all right, Michael Bay, you've successfully disinterested me in this franchise. I have further to gain here.
Yeah.
The part I wanted to talk about with Greg, you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
The part with so in the original Turtles,
Adrenaline. That
yeah,
part?
that
Okay,
part. So,
I have my own opinion on that if you
Okay.
want that, but I'll, whatever. So
so in the original Turtles, Raph gets captured, right? And is that Secret
Yeah.
of the Ooze or no? Splinter gets captured
He
in the
gets
first
captured
one.
in both.
Does he?
Oh no, he just gets the shit kicked out of him in the first one.
Yeah, and the second one he gets captured, and
a little too Raph.
Yeah, exactly. All the other turtles go save him, and in this one, all the other turtles get captured, and Raph has to go save the turtles. So they get into this lab area where their turtles are strung up, and what's happening is they're trying to drain them of their blood because that mutagen stuff is in their blood. So they're trying to extract it to put it into people or use it for whatever. I don't know. I had no idea. Whatever. So there's this part, Greg, if you'd like to take the reins here.
So this is like this is only like halfway, well, 3/4 through the movie, a little more than halfway through the movie. Okay, so they got all the turtles up in these machines, and they got all tubes in them, and they're sucking all the blood out of the turtles, right?
These are big tubes, man. These are thick tubes.
Pretty much at this point, according to the computer, they had like no blood left. Their blood was down to like 15%. They almost had all the blood from all the turtles. Then Raph comes trying to get them out, and he's trying to figure out, what do I do to get them out? I got to get them out, and he can't seem to break through the glass because it's like, break-proof glass.
So he goes to Donnie, and Donnie whispers something to him. He says,
I don't remember what he said.
Adrenaline.
Oh, he goes, adrenaline. And then Raph looks down at the computer, and the computer screen.
It was actually April, but go ahead.
April does it? Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, April looks down. That's right. Raph speed up. April looks down at the computer screen, and it says in a huge giant button, it takes up like 45% of the screen, adrenaline.
Okay, but I need to. Okay.
Okay, wait.
But wait. Let me finish something. Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry. This is April doing this, not Raph. Mm-hmm. April hits the button. Adrenaline pumps through all the turtles. The turtles are fucking ripped now. They break through the glass. Everything's good. And now they make it till the end of the entire movie. Completely fine. Like they didn't need their blood back. They got some adrenaline.
They had adrenaline instead.
That's all they had. Is
no blood. They were just running on adrenaline. That's where that phrase comes from.
See, what I hated about that was the button, because it was a digital screen, and he was like, adrenaline. And right there was a giant, it looked like a flash button from when Flash first came out.
You gotta love the scientist, right? Who's like, we should put an adrenaline button in because you never know. Like, maybe they're gonna want adrenaline.
Yeah, maybe they're gonna want to leave. Maybe they're gonna want to break out.
May I?
All right, Kate cannot friggin' wait to tell us her adrenaline opinion here.
And because I've already told you, and I'm sorry, because it was my first. The first thing that came to my head when I saw that, and then I got these two on the side of me. As soon as I see it, I think of this, and then these two on the side of me just cracking up. Well, yeah, so fucking absurd.
Greg and I didn't even say a word to each other. We laughed hysterically at that part.
I knew what they were thinking because it wasn't what I was thinking. Again, I watch a lot of these kind of movies or whatever. Okay, so
our resident pro.
To me, that felt like my first thought when I saw that was it felt like a nod to all of those old, 70s, 80s movies that had. I let you guys talk, okay? Thank you. So that had that really simplistic, it was before people really knew technology and, what things did or whatever. So you've got, these really simplistic things in The Thing, for example, The Thing or The Fly. Exhibit A plus exhibit B equals exhibit C. Oh my God. It was really simplified stuff. That
I think it was there because they didn't know what to do with the plot.
And they had war games and stuff like that. It was a similar kind of thing. So
Greg, Kate let you talk before. It's time for her.
When I saw that scene, instantly I was like, oh, that kind of reminds me of those old, those funny old, movies that had that kind of really obvious stuff right in front of you. Okay, that was the first thing that I thought, but I couldn't even finish that thought because these two fuckers are oh my gosh, so fucking stupid. Oh my God, it's so stupid. I can't believe it. And then to top it all off, the way that they acted after the adrenaline pump was fucking hysterical. They were fucking ready to go, and it was funny. Sorry.
Who would put that option there?
Yeah, right?
It's funny.
Well, see, to me, all it was to me was just recognizable for children, he did the adrenaline thing.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, and no child is going to sit there and be like, well, where did all their blood go? I don't know. The kid's going to be like, yeah, fucking kick him in the ass.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what happened. So the movie...
I'm sorry, it also just kind of makes me wonder if, maybe we're just too old for this. I don't know. When we were kids, we probably got behind it.
I was saying that the whole time. I'm like, shit, is this bad or am I old?
Well,
exactly.
Kate made a really good point. They really stayed true to each of the turtles' personalities and
so
the turtles themselves, the CG, everything about the turtles was fantastic.
I love the designs.
Mikey was really funny. they all played their archetypes.
They were perfect.
The CG was really, really good. Like super good textures on the skin. What didn't bother me that it wasn't Jim Henson stuff. Mm-hmm. So all that was good.
Sometimes that stuff doesn't work anymore.
The writing was just. Oh my God, it was terrible. But you know what? It's for children. Like there are psychologists that probably overlook that script and are like, yeah, this will probably work.
I don't think anybody overlooked that script.
Good point. Okay,
Good
point
one.
taken.
Good one.
Can I talk about Guardians of the Galaxy now?
You can, but I don't really want to get into too much detail because I'm going to see it tomorrow.
I won't do too many spoilers. I'll just give you my overarching thoughts of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
Because I actually end up like in a small minority camp here. Like, because I don't know if you've been following Twitter or you just are around people. Everyone is just coming out of this movie being like, what? Oh my God, my brain matter was smeared all over the theater. It's like, couldn't control my thoughts. It's okay. Like,
really?
It's fun. Much like you were saying, the CGI of Turtles steals that show. I think that Groot and Rocket Raccoon are the things to watch. And like you probably got that from the trailers.
Absolutely. Like, everyone talks about Groot.
Yeah, they're definitely like, anytime that they're on the screen interacting with each other, you're like, this is fantastic. I want to watch way more of this. My biggest complaint is that you have Chris Pratt, who is this notable comedic actor who is coming in to do this serious role. And everyone's like, I want the like Indiana Jones, like,
Han Solo type.
Yeah, Han Solo type, like, giving me one-liners, winking at the camera while he's, kicking people's asses. And I don't know if it's the direction or if it's the writing or it's just like where this happened. But Chris Pratt is crazy serious throughout the entire movie.
Really?
He takes himself, like, I just feel like the majority of his stuff is super serious. And like in the beginning, he's a little more of a chucklehead. But about like halfway through, he starts like really trying to be the badass superhero, which is surprising, being as so many of those Marvel characters, they've done a really amazing job by making them more lighthearted. Like Tony Stark's a perfect example. He's way more like serious in the comics, but he's a super chucklehead in this Marvel, in the cinematic Marvel universe.
Well, I think what they may try to do is kind of have a foundation of a chucklehead or whatever you used to call it, kind of like a lighthearted hero, and then the conflict is what hardens them. So it kind of shows that like it's the hero, showing people that are aspiring to be like these people that you can have a sense of humor, but also face adversity and problems. And I don't know, I'm probably overanalyzing, but and
I think you're definitely right. And like they are mining some interesting stuff with his character. And it's not to say that overall his performance is bad or the movie's bad at all. Like I thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. And I think you guys will as well. I just was hoping I just didn't feel like he came out of that movie any more of a star than he went into it.
It just felt like in all the trailers and everything I saw, it seemed like and knowing what I know of him from watching Parks and Rec and the things that I've seen him in and how funny he can be, it really felt like, and then just obviously Lego Movie, him voicing it, it felt like that's what they were marketing him as. That character. It was like really funny and a cut up and like
a chucklehead.
Slapsticky, a chucklehead.
I like
as
chucklehead.
We say. I like chucklehead.
It's the word of the day.
It really seemed like that's how they were like marketing that character in all the trailers and everything I've seen. So I'm surprised to hear that actually. That he wasn't like that.
And that's not. He has some one-liners. He has some good moments. It's not like he's gonna try and leave you in tears at any point.
Right.
But it is like I just felt like it was underutilized.
Gotcha.
Once again, and especially juxtaposed against Rocket Raccoon, who is literally just out of control throughout the entire movie.
Awesome.
That I feel like he kind of was just overshadowed. They had to tone him back, or they weren't allowed to allow him to be that kind of Han Solo character. Because when you look at like juxtaposing them literally against each other, Han Solo isn't a leader.
Yeah.
Han Solo doesn't have anyone who's upstaging him. He is the like guy who's playing for laughs, who's being ridiculous. And so Rocket Raccoon almost kind of takes that stage away from him. And I think that's why I enjoyed those characters more than him. But
and
that's
what about
all
Drax?
I'll say
I heard
about
Drax is like really, like Batista is like really awesome in that role. Like they really played his kind of dryness, to the advantage of the movie. It sounded pretty funny. Like,
it's a great time. I think you guys will really enjoy it.
Okay, good.
So we all play video games, right?
Somewhat.
Kate actually got into playing some video games recently. I don't know if anybody caught her on her new little show that we all put together.
It was such a a crazy way that it came about. It wasn't like anything that we sat down and like mapped out. Like it just happened on Monday night. It just kind of all started to fall into place.
There's kind of a window here where we haven't been podcasting, and we went through Gamescom without much news or anything. But a lot of news came out of that, including one bit, which is a playable teaser, also known as PT, in the form of a sort of like an exploration puzzle horror first person, kind of like a sensory experience in a way. And we had Kate play that on Twitch on Play Kate.
Play Kate. Okay.
Oh, look at that. She's got her like
I've
brand.
already got it down. I'm a brand now.
Yeah. Gotta market
That's
it.
right. Gotta reinforce the brand. A1, have an A1 day.
Oh.
You know? Gotta reinforce the brand. Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I know that.
You know that? That's a good
Greg,
show.
do you know that show?
You know that show? Breaking Bad?
Never heard of it.
Breaking Bad?
So,
okay.
That's the one where they're all on an island?
Yeah.
And they don't know how they got there?
Yeah.
Well, they know how they
That's
got
the one
there.
where they're the
plane
ad
crashed.
executives in New York.
Yeah, they're on the
60s.
island, and
they
they're
drink
on
a
an
lot,
island, and they're ad
then-
executives on the island.
Exactly. And they're ad executives on the island.
And there's like a
lot of
movie
scotch.
star and a professor.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
This is the greatest show ever that we
It
just
really
created.
actually could be an awesome show.
we should write scripts.
We should.
So Kate,
Yes.
it was your first time kind of really streaming, and
Yes.
to our surprise, Kate had how many people watching her play
so
this game?
What happened was I started playing. Well, first I didn't have the comment section up just because I wanted to kind of be more immersed in.
The teaser is on the thing is on PS4.
Yeah.
So we use their integrated Twitch
Their app.
via the camera there.
Yes. So John had asked if I wanted to have, everything up, like the comments section up and whatever. And I'm like, I'll just leave it for now. I like to just kind of be focused and not really worried about what people are saying. Because little did I know what it turned into. And we started, and there was 4 people. I think Greg was watching, and some of your friends were watching.
And I was moderating the chat.
He was moderating the chat, So I was like, okay, 4 people. And then I was focused on what was happening in front of me. And then next thing I know, there's 50 people watching. And I'm like, where the 50 people? Okay. And then next thing I know, John comes in and points at the top right of the screen under my video. And there's 250 people watching. And I was like, why? Why are they here right now?
Because you're a girl.
I'm a girl. But I was totally confused as to where they were all coming from. I just don't understand how that works, I guess. And then it became it was near 300 at the end. And it was super embarrassing at a certain point, just because then I told him, I'm like, actually, could you put the comments up just because so many people, I'd like to see what's going on. And thank goodness I did, because it turned into, that's how it kind of started to become this thing that we're doing where, okay, so I'm not that great at games. I love watching and being involved.
Kate, pitch your show. Here,
Okay,
pitch your show
here's
right
the
now.
show, right?
Pitch it.
I'm a girl, right? And I'm not very good at games. I love them, but I need help sometimes. So what we're going to do is have people watch and help me through it. They're going to walk me through it, right? Because that's what happened there. That just kind of naturally, organically started happening as I was playing, and it was becoming very clear. I had no fucking idea what was going on.
Well,
because I just kept walking around.
It was a half and half. Half of the people that were helping you, the other half were telling you to take your clothes off and telling you what,
fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck her right in the pussy.
Yeah,
I thought that was funny.
yeah.
That was funny. I would respond to any of those because that's funny. But yeah. So I mean, the ones that were being helpful were being super, super helpful. Really nice about it, and very because it was very clear. I didn't know what the fuck was happening. Because for the first half, you just walk, you walk through, you just go around this hallway, and it's slowly it's the same hallway.
Josh, have you played it?
Yeah. Have you played it?
No,
Josh?
I haven't played it.
Oh, really want to.
That's okay.
Much away. Okay.
Well, you're not giving. I'm sure you don't really. It's very deep.
Yeah.
There's a lot to figure out in it.
Oh my God. And I just.
No, I mean from what you went through, there's a lot of deep meanings and numbers and stuff that
sure.
people have figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff's kind of leaking out now.
Right. Well, and in regards to that, it got to a certain point. I forget exactly where. I think the first point where I realized that this wasn't just a walking around until you get to the end game. You actually have to do shit, was when I realized you have to zoom in on certain things and then something happens. Okay. It's hard to explain, but then I would notice in the comments, people were like, hey, Kate, go over to the phone and wait for this and then do this and then this will happen. And I'm like, what? I have to do stuff? Like, what is going on? And then slowly but surely it became this thing where I was like, okay, what do I do next? Someone tell me, what do I do next? And the lag really messes everything up because I'm playing in real time and they're, a couple seconds behind me. So I have to like wait. I'm like, okay, now
let me start off by saying the fidelity of this game graphically, like it's really cool seeing
so pretty.
Like AAA type developers starting to get into this horror genre kick that we're having. That's what makes me really excited for Alien Isolation later on. So the game is beautiful. It really is for such a small thing. And it was when I was watching Kate play, trying to moderate the chat to shut the guys up that were trying to hit on her the whole time. And I would have to chime into Kate once in a while and be like, Kate, you got to do that. And they were like, who's that? Your fucking boyfriend? I'll fuck him up. And I was like, all right, cool. Just keep it down, guys.
And
anyway.
I'm like totally oblivious to everything. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Somebody help me. I don't understand this.
But it was very, very difficult. Josh, I recommend you give it a shot.
And I felt better though the next day because I realized I thought I was just stupid. Like I really did. I thought I was like, everybody figure this out because by the end of it, I was like, how the hell did people figure this shit out? Because it is so specific. If you do one thing, even if you do one thing a half a second off, you have to do it again. And it just got to the point where I was like, there's no way. I don't understand how people figure this out. And then I found out later that no, I was pretty normal. Actually, everybody had a really hard time. And most of these people watched YouTube tutorials about how to do this stuff. And that's how they knew.
So then I cut her hour and a half, hour and 50. What was it, Greg?
Hour and 45, I think. I think it was an hour 45 or 46.
Something like that. 40s, cut that into 9 minutes on our site right now, which is pretty funny. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely watch it. Someone
complimented me to you today that had watched the video. They're like, yeah, whoever decided to do those close-up shots of your face, that was a good.
Who said that?
A friend of mine from work, because they watched it. They're like, whoever did a close-up decided the close-up.
Well, that's because as Kate was playing, she was making the most ridiculous faces. They look like masks.
They really do. And so they're more scary than half the shit in the game.
So throughout the thing, I cut it so that it zooms in on her face.
Just being ridiculous.
And it's pretty disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't recommend looking at it.
Nightmare inducing.
But it was really cool. And in the end, it's a big reveal for... Should I say it? Yeah, everybody knows at this point, right?
Go for it. Yeah.
Silent Hills with an S.
Daryl.
Well, Norman Reedus is set to play the main character, it seems, and Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro will be directing.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. Well, quote unquote directing.
Sure. Right. They'll be participating in one way, shape, or form.
It's super interesting to see what that collaboration is going to be. It's two very, very distinct voices coming together. Both who view themselves as cinematic masterminds.
Yep.
And so it'll be crazy to see what exactly each of them is planning to bring to the table and how this union was pitched to them respectively.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully they can do, as much as Steven Spielberg did with the Tintin game.
Did you play a Tintin game, Greg?
No, I didn't play it. I watched a whole friggin' documentary on how he loves video games and he always wanted to make that game. It's such bullshit.
It was a game? It was a movie?
No, they made a game too. They made a fucking game.
I didn't know that.
It might have been good. I don't know. But watching him talk about it like he was a game developer just fucking pissed me off.
Yeah.
And I honestly feel like he probably had nothing to do with it except that he directed the movie and they fucking put him in that thing, which is how I feel it's going to happen with both of those directors. They are going to be sitting second seat to an actual game developer.
Right, yeah.
Del Toro's pretty into that stuff, though, I have to say.
He is,
from everything I know.
But still, within this industry, I can imagine the next E3, they're going to show gameplay, and Del Toro's going to come out and be like, our game is going to be really good, and Kojima's going to come out and say, in Japanese, this game is going to be really good, and then, we're going to see gameplay leak out.
Right.
It's, I don't know. Whatever, we'll see. Big names doing big things, right? And it's cool to see, indie games or, other horror games kind of push that genre into the mainstream, which is exciting because I love those games. And they're super fun to watch.
Definitely.
Even while I was watching Kate, usually when Kate plays other games, I want to kill her because you get that, you just want to take the controller away.
Absolutely. Well, I wanted someone to take the control. I honestly, it got to the point where knowing I was being broadcast made me behave a little bit better, because I got to the point so many times where I was just about to like put down and be like, John, seriously, like just come here. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, but then everybody on Twitch yelled at me because they don't want her to have a boyfriend.
Exactly. So we got to be careful. And that's why I said, like, knowing that
We have to be careful.
We have to be careful.
Very, very
we can't make
careful.
it public.
No.
Public.
Very secret.
Bringo.
But like I said, that helped me like finish it, to know that I needed to do this on my own. Well, on my own with everybody's help. But yeah, man, it's really tricky.
It was really fun. And then last night, Kate did Aladdin.
I did Aladdin from Sega Genesis.
But obviously that to a much lesser crowd.
Yes. Oh God, what, like 10 people at the max?
I don't know. We're still testing out the system. I didn't make a video out of that one, obviously, because
it's just fun.
It was silly, but it
that
was good.
I have to say, I was thinking about it this morning, that like, I mean, I love those games so much. Aladdin and Lion King for Sega Genesis were honestly, okay, so I was like 7 years old when Aladdin came out, and I didn't do anything else for that amount of time. And it's crazy to see all that stuff again, because like I say, you remember little things, seeing little things, little Easter eggs or whatever. But like, it was amazing that the first couple levels are pretty easy. Like they're pretty easy. You get, save points, checkpoints or whatever. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it just becomes impossible. Like when you're in the Cave of Wonders, it is impossible,
Greg, you remember that Cave of Wonders?
The Cave of Wonders, when you're in the lava. And then you have to escape once you get past the Cave of Wonders with the Indiana Jones bullet.
Greg pays extra for the Cave of Wonders.
Anyway, it's funny to see how difficult it still is. Like it's not like it gets any easier when you get older. Like, oh, my reflexes are better. No, like the first levels are always very easy for those games.
It's not fun to be around a frustrated Kate when she plays games.
No,
she gets mad at me.
When I played BioShock, like I was
the controller.
It is. And then when we play Mario Kart, I'm like, I'm not drifting. It's not doing it. And of course it's me, like, because I'm not good, like. But. Hey,
Josh. So what have you been playing, bud, to get yourself through this this drought? But you know what, man? I'm gonna post a video soon about the drought, the quote unquote drought. But
the drought.
It's not really a drought at all. There's so many good games that are just popping up here and there, kind of like keeping us wet.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I like that term. I played a lot of stuff over the summer. Probably the biggest thing, the most notable thing that people would want to hear me talk about would be Divinity. And I don't know if people would want to hear me talk about Divinity.
Did you like
a little review. Yeah, I did. I'm obviously you can tell by my hesitation, I'm not as in love with it as so many people are. I don't know particularly how this chorus got started with everyone calling Divinity the greatest CRPG that's ever existed.
Because, Josh, what you're good at, bud, let me stroke your ego for a second, is keeping yourself at a distance from that kind of shit. Because I think what other people do is they stand on top of each other's shoulders once they like something. And it just like becomes this exponential thing where I like it a lot. I like it more than you. We both like it. It's the best game ever. We get really excited, so.
This has been insanity. And actually, so I wrote a review where I gave it a pretty good score. And anyone who has not given this game like a near perfect score has just received massive hate. Like people just freaking out. It's really funny. Divinity is a good game. It's a throwback to the CRPGs like Baldur's Gate, where you, or what's the one that people keep referring to? Ultima. Ultima 7, I guess, is the one that really harkens back to. And so you are playing at an isometric, top-down, third person, and you can interact with everything is the game's biggest crux. That's its way of getting you into the door. And the other thing that it says is that it's just like playing a pen and paper RPG. You can do it however you want, which is kind of true.
I hate that on the box note. In this game, you can do whatever you want. Whatever you want. Grand Theft Auto. You can do whatever you want in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can't, in this game, they really try to be true to that. You can go around and talk to a lot of people. You can interact with almost every object by clicking and dragging it to places that you want to place it. There's a lot of stuff you can do. And then when you get into combat, which inevitably you will get into combat, you then have to, it goes into XCOM style combat. It's actually a lot of fun. And it's well thought out. From a pen and paper perspective, it is probably the closest thing you can actually get to D&D with a grid paper.
I always have an issue where in those type of games, I don't like managing my micromanaging a full party in isometric RPGs for some reason. I can't do it. Not that I can't do it. It's just it's not fun for me. I don't know why. Like games like Tactics, like Final Fantasy Tactics, and managing a whole group of people isometrically is odd.
And Divinity's super obtuse about it. Like that game gives you no help whatsoever. Like when you actually have to, like your gold gets spread out through your characters. You don't have a gold pot that you go to. So if you go to a store and you like want to buy something, you're like, why do I only have 300 gold? I know I have more gold than this. So then you have to get out of the store menu, up to your characters menu, start transferring gold between people. And that works with anything. Like if one of your characters has a blacksmithing ability, you have to always like, oh, okay, go here, give him this armor, he'll repair it, give it back to her, now put it on her. And so a lot of stuff in there's really, really poorly designed. And people will be like, no, you just don't know how to play games. You just suck at games.
Yeah.
It's like, because I don't like to have my time sucked into frivolous things doesn't mean I'm bad at games. It just means that this is fucking annoying.
Nah, Josh is bad at games.
Yeah,
I am. This is also true.
No, I think that's also a high horse type game where, since you said pen and paper RPG, it can kind of be like an elitist thing to be like, it's the best thing ever made. Blah, blah, blah.
That kind of leads to another issue that I have with it, whereas, you know, in a pen and paper world, I can do whatever I want. Like if someone's like, hey, 10 orcs show up, you can be like, you know what? Fuck these orcs and walk away and do something else. Or like, you need to get the gold from this bartender. I can be like, no, I don't. I'll just walk over here and talk to this guy. So this game doesn't have that. Like there are a lot of times this game is actually funneling you to a certain place. Like you'll be exploring the map and you'll run into people that are just super overpowering. You're like, oh God, I can't fight these guys. I guess I have to go over here. Oh, these guys are way overpowered. I can't fight these guys. I guess I'll go over here. Oh, I can fight these guys. This is where I'm supposed to go.
It sounds like you're doing an Aesop fable right now.
Yeah.
This one's just right.
This is just right for my level. And so doing that shit is really annoying. I hate sitting there being like, oh, who am I supposed to fight? Like Final Fantasy does that a lot where you're like, oh, I better grind out some levels here or else I'm going to, end up sucking later on.
Oh, that's when grinding was like not an overused thing. And it was like, okay, I got to grind a little bit. It's kind of fun, actually. I'm not really directed towards that. Now it's like, we got to grind. How much do you have to pay real money? Microtransaction worries.
And so that is just where I felt this game is just not as open or as inventive as people would say it is. There are a lot of puzzles where you'll sit there and you're like, which switch am I supposed to hit? Oh my God, I can't figure it out. Oh, I don't hit a switch. I have to put the right amount of weight on each individual thing. And then they'll go down. Like you were talking about, Kate, where you get this moment where you're like, who the fuck figured this out? Yeah. Who sat here for 3 hours and said, okay, 1/8 of a pound on this switch, 2 pounds on this switch, 3 pounds on this switch, and 5 pounds on this switch. There, the door's open. Like, it's a lot of that stuff is just very, very disrespectful of your time. And people get into that stuff. That's totally fine. But when a game disrespects your time, you are left there just being like, I could do a lot of things right now.
Yeah, I think jumping
figuring
back,
out how heavy pots are. Sorry, go ahead.
No. After playing Divinity, I haven't played it yet, but it seems like after playing it, it'd be hard for me to get back into it, knowing that I have like chores to do in it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in order, I have to jump through hoops to open switches and stuff. And not that I don't like problem solving. I love problem solving. It's just there's so many other things to play that there's no way that I can just dedicate.
Well, I feel like there's like a difference between problem solving and just like wasting your time. Like when it's too like specific, like there's a difference between like puzzles, like again, and you can kind of tell at the end of that the video that you edited for me. Like I'm like, it's really frustrating, but it's fun, I guess, and it was really fun. The PT, obviously back to that, but because that's what I played. But yeah, just like the 10-step thing that was kicking my ass. And I know it doesn't make a lot of sense, but there's an area where you have to, from the moment the clock strikes midnight, you have to take 10 consecutive steps and then stop and then wait for a baby to laugh and then wait for this. And then once that happens, you don't move. And then it's like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, and I would count, like, how many times did I do it? Like 20 times. And I'm like, I'm counting 10 steps and it's not working. And it's like, this is ridiculous. And then randomly once it'll work. And it's like, okay, I just wasted an hour and a half doing this. Like, this is, it's ridiculous.
The one thing I'd say is there are people out there, this is more focused towards Divinity, but I think this also applies to games like Dark Souls, where there are people who buy that game and they go, this is my game for 3 months.
Right.
And I wanted to abuse my time. I plan to sink upwards of 100 hours into this thing. I want to die 40 million times. I want to like get better. I want to evolve, and then I'll move on to the next step. And like, if that's what you're into, like you'll love Divinity, and you should. Like, it is a game very much catered for your specific tastes. But I think on the whole, it's hard for me to walk up to a stranger and be like, you will like Divinity, because you have no time to do anything else.
Right. It's hard to like figure out who might be into that.
Yeah.
So while you spent time playing Divinity, Greg and I actually got into another MMO, right, Greg?
That's right, John.
Wait, is this?
What MMO did we get into, Greg?
We played Firefall.
Firefall, free-to-play MMO by Red 5, right?
Yep.
How'd you like that game?
Great. It's a lot of fun. Because the reason why I like Firefall, let's do this.
Well, you can compare it. I think you're going to compare it to WildStar, right?
No, I'm just going to compare it to all MMOs in general. At least the ones that I've played. There's just like there's no pressure to keep up with things. You don't have to know the lore. You don't have to really get into the configurations of things, or it's not very detailed. And as someone like me who can't really handle the responsibility of most MMOs and being able to play them the right way and devote that kind of time to a game like that, Firefall is perfect because you can pick it up and put it down whenever you want, and you don't have to worry about anything. You can learn it all pretty quickly, and it's got a really cool first-person mode. And some of the stuff in there is a little bit repetitive, and it's not very huge yet. But if they keep up with it, I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's free and it's fun.
I didn't play any of the beta. I honestly hadn't even heard of it before I saw some buzz about it on the internet. But apparently, it was in beta for like 2 years, and the game has changed drastically. Since the release, what is it now? Maybe a month ago, close to a month ago. But I think they found a really safe balance between like progression and paying for things, using real money to pay for things. And it seems like Greg, you probably feel the same way. The whole currency systems, like you convert the currency you get in game to like this kind of middle currency, and then the actual pay currency. I think it's pretty generous, right? It's not that bad.
It's cool.
It's not like they're forcing you. They're not tweaking the mechanics to make it so.
Look, you don't have to buy anything in that game.
Yeah.
You'll get through everything. You'll be fine. And it's not really super competitive, so I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to buy it. We bought a couple things, me and John, just because we wanted to have some stuff. But like, you don't have to buy anything. And even the main currency that you pay for with money, you can get that using in-game money also. If you collect enough in-game money, you can trade it in for actual, money kind of, red beans they call it.
You can make a profit really if you want to.
You could sell red beans on the marketplace there. So
red beans being the actual current the dollar currency. And then there's like a couple of offerings like VIP membership plus 25 experience. The game has its fair share of bugs for sure. A lot of inconsistencies. You have to be able to put up with like a lot of problems, right?
I haven't really had too many problems.
Well, I mean, like quests not loading.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like we've only had that happen like 3 times, and it's a free game. So.
Yeah, that's the thing is you have to keep telling yourself it's a free game. Even if you put the money in, you're like, I'm supporting the developers. This is a free game. Yeah. We're having fun. There's enough classes and stuff to work for. Like instead of a class system, you have one character and you switch between battle frames. They're called, and it keeps it fun. Like you can switch almost on the fly, basically, and discrepancies between levels don't matter as much. It's super super casual. It's the most casual MMO I've ever played. So I think that's why it's probably the most fun because it's the least hands on. Right? It's got enough of those technical MMO mechanics to keep you invested, though. So. I don't know. Had a good time with it. Greg, also the other day, Greg and Kate, we had our board game, our table game day.
Yes, we did.
A few days ago. And it wasn't strictly table games this time.
Nope.
We actually...
we kind of split it up between tabletop games and multiplayer
console
games.
Like, who made those awesome trophies, right? Those trophies were so sick.
Nice.
Josh, you see those trophies?
I did. Did you make those?
He made those.
I
peeled off the stuff that... little sticker stuff that came on it.
Wow, so you basically made them.
I basically made them.
Wow. Good job, Kate. They looked really good.
Thank you.
Do you feel a little superficial placing an order for a trophy?
I didn't place an order for a trophy. I made them.
Oh, you made them. I'm sorry. So as someone who has
I made them.
As someone who has purchased trophies, a couple times for my own collection.
I can imagine Josh's room is like bowling champion.
With someone else's name, random name.
No, I had to purchase them for our fantasy football league and when I ran a volleyball league one year. And it's this moment where you do come in with that feeling. You're like, yeah, just put volleyball champion on the trophy. No, it's not for me. It's for a league. And someone's just like, this guy, just staring at you with this condescending look of like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever.
You're like trying to impress a girl, dude? Like, what are you doing?
What do you want to engrave it on? Do you want me to just put your name on there? It's like, no, just, it's for a league. Okay, all right. So yeah, it's I found it to be a somewhat embarrassing situation, but you made yours, so you had nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
John works at a what is it?
Swell company.
It's a
display company.
Display manufacturing company. So what he does is he goes in there and he really gives it to the man, you know? He
Stick it to the man.
Sticks it right in him and he goes, I'm going to use stuff here. I'm going to make trophies for my friends, and just jabs the knife deep in the belly of the man.
Right in there.
And he twists it.
Spills out the intestines.
And it goes in the back and they cut out and they print out these little trophies, and then he brings them home and he hands them out to his friends. So.
I designed them too. Okay,
Oh no, they're beautiful. They're beautiful works of art.
They're beautiful. But we lasered them out on some nice pieces of acrylic. I ran out and got a Sharpie, and then each game that each person won, I would do a little quick put my John Hancock on there, but I gave the name of the game we won.
Wait, you signed them?
Well, I didn't sign them. Like, what game? You won a game, Greg, didn't you?
Yeah, I won House
Betrayal at House on a Hill.
Wait, you signed it? Like an autograph?
Well, no, I wrote Betrayal on it.
Oh, okay.
So this way, they make them personal. On the trophy, it says the date. It's the 6th table game day.
I thought
that
you were
we've had.
signing them like, I made this trophy.
No, like an artwork.
Yeah.
On the bottom.
Yeah.
This is an Azalona special.
Yeah. Just quick JA on there. Yo, what's up? Here's a trophy. But we did play some video games this time. We had a very, very fun and competitive Nidhogg tournament.
Nidhogg.
Did anybody?
Yeah,
Josh, you play Nidhogg?
I know what Nidhogg is. I've never played it.
Okay, you need to play that game. That's a good game.
Nidhogg is a great game. It's a fencing simulator. Not really, but
simulator.
It's a fencing game, kind of, where you have to go left and right, depending on which guy you are, and the further left or right you go, you win, and you have to go a couple frames, and you have to prevent the other guy from going back and forth. That's probably the worst description of Nidhogg I
was going to say you're not going to be able to describe it. Let's make this easy because we're trying to get a lot in a little time here today. Nidhogg is awesome. Go on the World Wide Web and type it into Google and look at some videos.
Nidhogg. Nidhogg. It does its own tournament bracket. So we had a few people and we just picked numbers out of a hat and we set up a tournament. I believe I won that tournament, the first one.
Okay, John.
All right, Greg. You know what? You just can't admit it. I just recall you when you won Betrayal that it was a big deal.
It was a big deal because it was 1 versus 8.
You had the advantage, though.
No, I didn't. You guys did.
How?
Because you should have killed me.
Yeah, we fucked up big time.
Yeah, you see, don't put it on me when you guys have no fucking strategy. You guys suck.
We did have a strategy, but it's hard
I came in dressed up, in character. You guys were all...
You came in all of our winter clothes.
Yeah, that's all I could find.
But for some reason, so when we play Betrayal, there's something that happens that changes the whole game, and you find out who the villain is. And I think all 3 times that we've played this game, Greg has been the villain, right?
Yeah, and it's not like anything I can do about it. It's just coincidence that I'm always the villain. And then what happens is the game becomes a 1 versus everyone else game.
Hey, Greg, remember when we went to the Renaissance Fair 2 weeks ago, and the woman was like, "Stop being a douchebag."
Yeah.
It's because
Did you say that to you?
Yeah, well, here's what happened with that is she was a fortune teller, a.k.a. a money stealer, a full of professional bullshit artist.
Greg's a little bitter about this.
I was wearing it. You know what it was? My hair was spiky and I had sunglasses on. So she called me. Anyway, I'm pulling out a card and she says that I'm a mean person on the card. I'm not nice to girls or something like that. That I'm not nice to... And I don't know where she gets that from. I'm nice to girls.
Just because you want to punch them when they cry.
I didn't say punch them. I didn't say punch them. I didn't say that either. I said I don't like when girls cry.
See, I get really angry at them. If you fucking cry.
You know what? You can look at it in 2 ways. You can say, oh, that's really sentimental. He doesn't want to see any women cry ever. Okay? Anyway.
To your credit, Craig, I get really uncomfortable when girls cry, but I usually just end up conceding whatever she's crying about.
You know what it is? It's hard for me because I have no emotion. I'm completely lost on emotion. I don't know what that is. Okay, I don't get it. Okay, I don't get it.
Okay. Kate, we gotta go.
Anyway. No. So anyway, I pull the card out and she goes, "Yeah, you're mean at girls." I don't know what card would say. Like someone would make these cards, and this is the card of a womanizer.
Yeah, but for me, Greg, she was like, "Don't worry, things are gonna get good." She was like, you're gonna make money."
To you,
I don't know. Maybe I just don't look like a douchebag.
I guess so.
So are you you're in like a fortune teller tent when she's doing this?
No, she kind of pulled us off of the path.
See, that's some bullshit. Like, at least have some dramatic flair and stuff.
Dude, those fucking Renaissance people are just like leveled up carnies.
Well, Greg tried to tip her. Greg tried to tip her. Like, that's the right thing to do. True. Greg did the right thing, and she wouldn't take the money.
Wouldn't take it.
Oh, wow.
Sorry. Yeah, she wouldn't take it.
Yeah, because she
should have took it. She should have used it to buy herself a damn tent.
Yeah, she had a tent. She was standing outside.
She walked away.
Hey, man, I had a really good time at that Renaissance fair.
I had a horrible headache, but
I was very jealous. I really, really want to go to a Renaissance fair, and I have not been in many years.
It was about an hour drive up north out of the city, and man, I got my big turkey leg finally. The group got a little big. Everywhere. So it was a little, not too big, but it got a little hard to manage everybody with, old girl stuff going on and other things, drinking. I don't know. Okay. But what else was I going to say? There was something else. Oh, Greg, the guy who was dissing you, the tomato guy.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That was a fun time.
God.
So there's this guy, funny. He's got his head sticking out of like a little really hole in the wall, and you get to throw tomatoes at him, and he just rips you apart.
I'm just thinking about my day there now. Like, I called a douchebag by a fortune teller. I spend 5 minutes getting ridiculed by a jester.
Yeah, Greg paid $10 to get ridiculed.
It was amazing.
And no, the best was Pam's boyfriend, James,
because he's tiny little like Asian kind of guy. Like, what is he? Like, what is his background?
I don't know.
Asian works. He's just tiny Asian guy.
Tiny Asian guy.
And he was like, "Sir, I loved you in Ocean's 11 when you did a backflip onto the bank thing.
When you jumped out of the or he was also like in The Hangover when you jumped out of the trunk."
Yeah, it was funny. But that was a really fun day. We have I'll get the video stuff from Greg and we'll post something about it somewhere. Because Greg and I actually I think we were funny that day, right?
We were also drunk, so I don't know.
We were making people laugh. Oh, and there was that magician. Anyway, Firefall, more video game stuff.
Nidhogg.
We also played, real briefly, Valiant Hearts. Is a game I wanted to talk about. We don't have to get too deep into it, but man, first game in a while that made me cry.
Oh.
I'll say it.
I love Valiant Hearts. This is a great game.
And when I first came in to see you playing it, I kind of came in, kind of beginning, middle, or whatever, and I didn't know what it was. And to me, like seeing it, I was like, oh, this is kind of funny looking. Like, this is kind of cute. I thought it was like comedy game because the way it's animated is so different and so kind of goofy looking, but very, very quickly you realize like how serious it is, and like the music is so emotional, and just like everything about it. I'm like, oh God.
They kind of look really like people from Plants vs. Zombies.
Yeah, with the hair kind of thing, and
the grumbling, like
the grumbling, absolutely. So it kind of reminded me of like of a funny, like cute Plants vs. Zombies style game. So I'm like, oh, is this supposed to be funny or something? And he's like,
it's
no,
so dark.
Not at all. And I'm like, really? I can't imagine this kind of game, the way it looks, being dark.
I think you could take the sunniest, most unicorny, rainbow, beautiful, mythical thing and mix it with World War I, and no matter what, it's going to be like, it's going to pull it down into the depths of just terrible, disgusting war. Like,
great.
But what a fantastic story. Don't talk about the ending because I still want Greg to play it because it's a really good game. But that
ending is like, that is the like clincher. That is the moment that you're like, yeah, dude, damn, that's good.
Like,
I looked up and I'm like,
Kate hadn't watched me play the whole thing, but the monologue at the end.
I like looked up and I realized what was about to happen, and I was like, "Wait,
so
no," and I am bawling as soon as I realize what's going on.
Kate, I look over at Kate and she's hysterical, and I have tears come. Like,
how did this
great.
Happen?
Anything that evokes that kind of emotion, whether it be a game or anything like that, that's high art. That's good stuff.
Like Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, like Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
those music levels are also fantastic. Like,
yeah.
jonesing off of the Rayman Legend stuff, to come up with some of those ideas. Oh, so good.
Yeah, not to mention that music that they use is stuff that we're all familiar with through like Looney Tunes, Merry Melodies, and like those classical songs from Europe.
Yeah, really, like it's just really smart choices there.
And like Greg said, it's just makes you cry, just like the end of Ninja Turtles.
Yep.
Aw.
Yeah.
So if you guys haven't
like
played,
when the adrenaline gets pumped into him, is that when you were crying?
Exactly.
You
Oh my
really
God.
cried.
I was crying hysterical.
When they're falling
was
off the
just-
thing
You know, man, and
Falling.
Shredder wasn't even cool.
That's
like,
what people were saying. Like, it didn't feel like Shredder. Like, it just kind of felt like a thing. Like
you see how easily Kate jumps right back into the turtles?
I will talk about whatever I have opinions on. That I actually have. But no, you're right.
So the next thing we have coming down the pipeline is Destiny, right? And Josh, we
Took
played
a picture today.
What happened?
Thing in Times Square.
Oh yeah. Well,
The
Greg,
whole Times Square subway stations is covered in Destiny.
Yeah,
ads.
Greg, have you seen that stuff all over the
No.
city?
It's crazy.
Destiny
All the turnstiles
is
and-
all over New York
Marketing
City.
blitz.
Yeah, Bungie is spared no expense on the marketing.
Huge. Well, I mean that's
Surprise,
like
surprise.
prime- that billboard that I sent you today in Times Square. That is like probably the biggest like prime billboard space in Times Square. It's like right above the big subway station. Like it's right there. And I think most of like the popular things coming out are in that space, and now it's Destiny, which is kind
Right.
of interesting.
So September 9th that comes out. We all had a chance to play the beta together. Greg and I played together, and I also played with Josh, right, on PS4. And man, I'm excited for that game. That was definitely a game that I definitely got beta hype from it. So I guess we're just waiting for that at this point.
I really was glad to play more of the story missions.
Yeah.
It's still like I don't care about the darkness or they just so many does. Yeah, but I like Bungie's really really good at pacing a corridor shooter. Like obviously they know what they're doing there, and that stuff feels amazing. Even better when you're playing with someone. That's coming from someone who hates playing with people.
Yeah, and now, Josh, you're not really a multiplayer guy. Did you play some of the PvP? I think we played together a little bit.
We
right?
played it together. Yeah,
The Crucible?
I did not enjoy the PvP. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very Halo-ian.
Yeah, I don't know if I said
Yeah,
this
no,
to you
that's
while we
pretty
were
good,
playing it or if I said it later when I was talking about it. But like, I feel that after Titanfall, like PvP is just kind of something where I'm like, this doesn't have the rush that I have when I play Titanfall.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see if
Advanced Warfare.
yeah, can challenge that, because that's like playing Destiny is like this feels like someone made another iteration of a Halo multiplayer, and at this point it feels outdated. I feel like someone has superseded this.
I think if they find a good way to incorporate your earnings in the single player and make your character feel like your own, fighting with them in the Crucible might feel a little bit better. Like taking your investments and having a bout with other people for sure. But I don't know. Definitely feel the combat feels like Halo. So, what else we got here? Rogue Legacy. The PlayStation did their whole, what is it called, Josh? Game on? Play?
No,
Whatever.
it's Play. PlayStation Play.
PlayStation Play.
The substitute for the now deceased Summer of Arcade. Pour a little out.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. A lot of indie games this summer that I really loved. Just real quick, Greg, we've been playing with our buddies. We've been playing Mount Your Friends, which is probably the most fun I've had in a multiplayer game in long.
Weird.
It's pretty fun. Yeah, it's entertaining for sure.
Floppy dicks.
Lot of laughs.
Kind of bizarre.
Totally bizarre.
Yeah.
A lot of laughs. Mount Your Friends, really fun. It's like a physics play game where you have to stack yourself on top of each other.
Mounting.
But
your
everyone's
friends.
pretty much naked, and your wang spins.
Yeah,
all
everyone's
over
got
the
a big wang.
It's just like flopping around. Like I come in, I'm like, what is it? Like, what is this? It's so weird.
So far,
Girls, they have something different than
Floppy tits.
No, well, I'm talking about the nether zone.
Oh.
what do they have? Like two?
Floppy.
No, they don't have anything there.
Okay.
Oh, I saw it in a video once.
Yeah, in 5th grade when they were teaching you to put deodorant under your arms, they were like, "What's?" So far, I have to say this year my favorite game is probably still Shovel Knight, and I fall into a majority with Shovel Knight. Josh, I know you didn't like it that much.
Yeah.
What the hell? Oh, okay. So let's talk about the drama fest in the gaming world, right?
Okay, so I need to be caught up on this. You said you would maybe.
Josh, you're familiar, I assume. We don't have to get too deep into it, but
I just
Actually, Greg, you started getting heated about it earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I could say a quick thing if you guys want a quick thing.
I just
Go
want a
for
little
it.
update.
All right. So what we got here...
I feel like you should be pulling down one of those, like a world map.
And then like a pointer, laser pointer, or like a
so
wood pointer.
what's going on here is this is sort of what happens to every single big industry that has any sort of coverage of it, is there's a scandal in the game, and everyone's freaking out because they're like, is the game journalism's a joke? Because of this, game journalism's a joke. So what happened was there's this chick, Zoe Quinn, and she developed a game called Depression Quest. And she pretty much slept with 5 dudes who are all journalists. One's a couple of journalists, a couple are big developers, whatever. And they all gave, raving good reviews of her game. So everyone's pissed off because she fucked for good reviews and people bought this game. And now everyone's mad because the integrity of game journalism has been destroyed. But what people I feel like, I think that what I was saying before was that the gaming community is just very naive to this sort of thing for some reason, because I guess it's not like a public thing, and maybe it makes some of them uncomfortable or what it is, because a lot of them seem to be attacking the fact that she cheated on her boyfriend. It's like that's the first thing they bring up, which is so stupid. Like,
it's so juvenile.
It's her. She can do whatever she wants, and then they go into how she manipulated the industry by sleeping with these people. And then I'm just all I can think of is like, really? You think that she's the only fucking person who does that in this industry? What I'm talking about, this is the biggest industry in the world. This is television and movies combined, and then some. There's more money in play in this fucking industry than anything else in the entire world. If you don't think people are fucking people for favors, then you are fucking stupid, okay? This industry isn't just like faces like Will Wheaton and these fucking, these nerd celebrities. There's fucking business people in the background who just care about cash and care about their fucking products.
Right.
These AAA games come out. No one ever makes a big fucking deal when, Far Cry comes out and they buy fucking websites and make everything over with ads, completely manipulating, when you think that the AAA games aren't greasing the wheels a little bit with reviewers, throwing money at these websites.
They must be.
If you don't think they are, if you honestly think that all of the journalism that goes in the world, that a company will invest millions and millions of dollars into developing a game and not invest a shit ton of money in a PR campaign working with people that they know and they know we're going to give them a good review no matter what, and that they're going to push money towards their company, then you are oblivious to the way that entertainment industry, the entertainment business works, everyone. So if you want to keep publicizing this whole ordeal with this girl and these 5 guys, all you're doing is making the scandal more public. You're taking this industry that you want to be so prestigious and so like nothing wrong can happen to it, so pure, and you're literally making it worse by continuously bringing the situation of all the videos I've been seeing over the past couple days of these kids in their fucking basements who think that journalism is like this fucking high art thing and that it cannot be manipulated with money. Like, journalists are not in the fucking top high pay bracket. Okay, if someone comes at you with a couple $1,000s to give their game a good review, they're not going to say no. They're a fucking human being in a business. Okay.
Now,
and sorry, Kate.
No, it's fine.
If you're getting, and a lot of people got mad because they're like, we were deceived because Depression Quest wasn't, they said it was this, they said it was that, and people are upset because of this. It's like, are you fucking stupid? Like, why can't you just go look at the game yourself? Watch a couple videos online, read some user reviews, look at the screenshots on Steam. It was a Flash-based shithole game. Like, what did you expect?
Right.
You take everyone's word at what it is. You need to make your own opinion. Like reviewers are there to give you, their opinion, but that's their fucking opinion. That's not the end all be all. You don't know if they're getting fucking money for what they're saying.
Right.
You need to form your own opinions, play the games yourself, and do the research into things, and not be upset with the industry.
So the way that you're supposed to interpret reviews or reviewers' opinions or journalists' opinions is you align yourself with the beliefs of them, and then you return to them for their opinion. Like when someone reads a review by Josh, they go, oh, it's Hinky posting another review. I've trusted his reviews in the past. My views have aligned with his views.
Right.
I trust this person. Same thing with all the other reviewers out there. Yeah. So when there's a problem, if somebody doesn't give something a good review or it doesn't align to your taste, if someone gives something a 5.0, a dumb number score, which shouldn't mean anything anyway, which unfortunately Metacritic has made the industry that's the actual the medium by which we gauge games is not in their descriptions but in their number score.
Numbers, right.
Unfortunately, people get angry when people don't agree with them, and unfortunately, this is the internet. People you're going to disagree with certain reviewers because Josh. I'm using it as an example. Greg and Josh both love car games, but I only play Madden, and they say Madden sucks, and I say car games suck. I mean, I'm using base level examples right now, right?
The Zoe person that everyone's mad at, like everyone's pissed at Zoe.
She's becoming an icon
or
a martyr.
Hold on a second. It doesn't even matter. No, that shouldn't even matter. Like they're all mad at Zoe, but Zoe didn't do anything wrong. Like she didn't do anything wrong. Really? She cheated on her boyfriend. Like, okay.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with us.
Exactly. What I'm saying is this is what I'm saying. Like a lot of people are mad about that for some reason, which I don't understand. But she didn't do anything wrong. No, the 5 people she banged who went and wrote the reviews or gave her game, they're the ones who did something wrong.
Right.
She didn't do anything wrong. She's smart.
She manipulated the system to her advantage.
She's smart. You know how tough that industry is? Do you have any idea how hard it is to get into that, to get a game to make fucking money, your indie game? Like what the fuck? Like she's smart. Those fucking 5 guys are idiots because they all look like D-bags. Well, they should, but for some reason she looks like a D-bag.
Because she's a woman. It's easy to pin that shit. She's a
at the same
whore,
time.
She's a slut.
At the same time,
she did cheat on her boyfriend. It's bullshit. But
at the same time, she was only able to do what she did because she's a woman.
Because she's a woman. Exactly. It's a double-edged sword when it comes to that shit. Like you do it and then you get caught. You're a fucking slut. You're a whore. What about those guys? Like they fucking just had much to do with it as she did. No, it's.
The thing is, they didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
They could have banged her and then said, haha, I told her I was going to write a good review.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I would have done.
Exactly. And you wonder why the woman called you out for being a douchebag to women.
Well,
Josh.
In this situation, this means someone would have just been banging me for a review anyway, so she would have been a douchebag also.
Josh, you ever get banged for a review, bro?
No. I can't. It's sad because I'm usually the one who's offering. I'm like, hey, I'll review your game if you'll have sex with me. And believe it or not, that's never drummed up any support.
Here's a good way to.
It's really it's funny though because Greg's pretty much on the nose with this stuff. Like honestly, this doesn't concern us. And Zoe Quinn has been a lightning rod for a long time, mostly because people are like, "Oh, what is this Depression Quest game? Blah blah blah."
Like a shit game,
actually, and so it's a Twine game, and it's a very very elementary choose your own adventure game, which I actually thought was really well written and does deal with depression in an interesting way. I sent it to my sister, who is a psychology major, and she was like, wow, this is actually a very interesting tool. And so people just already feel a lot of ways about Zoe Quinn, also because she is a woman game designer, and that seems to instantly just start triggering stuff.
It really does.
I know that, even if you do feel slighted in some way, if you somehow feel that you are a victim of something, you should just you should never treat people like shit, which is absolutely the most ridiculous thing that has happened is that this poor girl has been harassed and stuff like that. And even just talking about it just makes me a little weird because we're empowering the people who are, because to some degree, the people who are harassing her are just doing that same thing where they're like, oh man, if I harass her, people are going to talk about me and watch my video and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, even just bringing it up, someone's going to go to a website and, come away with
she's
her
an
own
easy target right now.
Hey, Josh, though, let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
If, say you're at PAX next week and Zoe Quinn comes up to you, and she says, "Hey Josh, I will fuck the shit out of you if you write a nice review about my game Depression Quest." She whispers in your ear and she grabs you. She's like, "I'm Zoe Quinn." She's all like, all over you. What would you do?
Do you want like the actual answer of how I would handle this situation?
I want the real answer.
I'm such a fucking loser that I'd probably just be like, oh God,
say she didn't have the heat attached to. Well, you know what? I don't want to put you in a weird position.
No. Hold on a second. He's having anxiety already, and it's a fake. It's a fake
thing. I know, right? Like this is just like completely hypothetical, and I just feel like,
hey Josh, take the anxiety away for a second. Look at it as a hypothetical situation, and look at it as you're on top of your game right now. You are the fucking man. Everything's going smoothly. You're having a good day, and she comes up to you and she's like, "Please write it," and you're totally into it. No anxiety. You're totally into her. But would you bang her for a review?
I'd probably do what you said and bang her, and then just be like, "Oh, my."
That's the answer Greg was looking for the whole time.
I'm not a douchebag.
Oh wow, this is a good podcast.
It circles all the way around.
Well, and so I don't, and like in this stupid way, like just kind of once again playing off what you're talking about, Greg, about the favoritism in the industry. Like when I go to, when I went to E3 or when I go to meetings at meetings with the press, like they give a shit all the time. Like you always leave. I have so many fucking t-shirts from just like going there and like, take a t-shirt. Do you want candy? Here's some water.
Dude, we do that to get people to listen to the podcast. Like that's how it works. Greg offers his body up.
Oh, I haven't eaten all fucking day. Yes, I'll have candy. Oh, someone wants to fuck me? All right, I guess I have time for that.
Yeah, very good.
Well put.
All right.
So yeah, whatever. People are dumb.
I just, Greg, like you said, I think Greg completely nailed it. I think the fact that we're giving it... Yeah.
Are you clapping for yourself,
this one time, Greg was right about something.
Yeah.
Take that, fortune teller. What do you know?
I'll let Greg have it. I just think the dependence on this as news, because there's nothing else really going on.
Yeah.
I can't believe how we hang on, how the game community hangs on to this stuff.
I loved all the videos that kept popping up, and you'd see one, you'd be like, oh, that's a good video, and then someone would post to rebuttal that video, and you'd be like, oh, that's a good video, and someone would post a rebuttal to that video, and it was like all these videos of like they were like almost like political videos.
Yeah, they all started like a briefing, like
just so you know, my counterpart Dan374 on his YouTube channel posted a video yesterday where he stated that Zoe had slept with 4 men and that she did it. Really, actually, it was 5 men, and Zoe is not to blame. Blah 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 blah.
And they're very melodramatic. Like this is all false information.
Yeah.
In September of
Absolutely deplorable.
Oh man,
we need to
I'm
take
stuck
back
in the
the internet.
quagmire of wanting to YouTube these, watch these videos on YouTube just to embrace how awful they are. Because I imagine they're all really shitty video quality. Like someone it's super light in the background, but you can't see their face. It's all dark, and they're
most of them are just images that change as they're talking.
It's even better.
Yeah.
God, I imagine these people just with nothing to fucking do with their lives, but just sit there and be like, well, I got an opinion on this. I'll cut a video together. And I want to do that, but I don't want to give these people just the one hit, the one extra view on their videos. So just hit 5,000. Looks like I have a decent opinion in the world.
Remember that one video I sent? I showed, or you might have sent it to me, where at the end the guy's like, we have to take back journalism in the game industry. The internet is destroying it. We have to stand up now against the mass, against the people who are in control. We have to make a change today. These corporations, Kotaku, IGN, are ruining this game industry for all of us. Dude, you are so stupid.
But that's the thing.
All this is happening, and then meanwhile, there's Ebola viruses outbreaking, and shit going down in Ferguson, and the games industry's we gotta take back what really matters. It's oh my god, shut the fuck up. There's so many more important things we could be focusing on.
People get so far away from the reason that we all fucking play. We play because we love video games. Everyone is entitled to their own love in terms of what they want to play, but people detract themselves and get involved in this drama. It's no different than watching a reality television show or something like that. There are real issues where you come into contact with hot button issues like feminism or certain rights in games, like what Nintendo dealt with
YouTube.
Tomodachi Life, whatever, with the whole homosexual thing. You're getting to these hot button political issues, but in the end, we all love video games, and that's why we why we do this. That's why we play. That's why we fight. And I can't wait till some more video games start coming out in the fall, because we're going to have to fucking shut our mouths and finally start playing them again.
Right.
And people can just chill and start having review videos again.
Chill?
And we can have
fight all the time. That's all these kids do.
Yeah.
That's all these kids do. These fucking kids.
Yeah, but at least when there's big games out,
It's a distraction kind of from
at least when there's big games out, there can be discussion about games. Like, I don't mind arguments about games, but when it starts being about like these faces in the games journalism industry, like, who gives a flying fuck? Like, they're throwing around these names like what the hell they call it, like white social justice warriors,
social justice warriors,
and these things like. It kills me inside, because I do this podcast and it's not even successful. Like, we're trying so hard. We play games. I play games all week. We do it because we fucking love it. And you find someone you trust in the industry, like us, right? To get a really good opinion from. The right opinion is what I'm saying.
Damn right.
Yeah. And you align yourselves with them and don't get involved in the drama, because in the end, we're all fucking playing Halo. We're all playing The Last of Us. We're all engaging in these incredibly well put together stories, and we're talking about them, and it's art. And the reason that games are being held back in a different way now is because we're making it politics, and we shouldn't.
Well, I have to say, like what Greg had kind of mentioned before, when he's like, like, make a fucking decision for yourself. Like, it's kind of in all facets, like, of any kind of entertainment. It's like, if you rely that heavily on like a journalist or a reviewer to give you your opinion, then there's no, like, you're kind of already lost, because it's like, you can take their opinion, be like, okay, well, at least I know that going in. But like you said, take the initiative and look the shit up for yourself, watch some videos about it, learn about it. And then you'll know going in that actually it looks kind of shitty. Like, I just feel like that's the case for a lot of things. Like, oh, this person said it's really bad, so I'm not going to say it.
There's something about like self-important individualism that people as consumers that buy games like to do. They say like, well, especially when EA follies or there's a problem, it's like, well, vote with your wallet. You got to vote with your wallet. Yeah. Like, they think that these huge corporations they're not good enough to have my money. Like, you're a consumer, you don't like, you barely matter in the grand scheme of things. So I don't know. I mean, we need games journalism, obviously, because you need people to align yourselves with, like I said earlier. But like Greg said, I mean, do the research.
Right.
And you won't you know what you do, guys? Get Gamefly. You'll never get burned by a game again.
Never get burned by a bad game.
Oh my God, that'd be the greatest Gamefly commercial.
I know has Gamefly.
Do you not trust the games industry journalism anymore?
Get Gamefly. Decide it yourself.
$4.99 a month, discless service.
You'll never have to trust a review again.
Never.
So last thing, Josh, have you done the ALS challenge yet? You've been nominated?
No.
Nominated,
Josh?
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody.
I'm nominating you,
You can't.
Josh.
You have to be nominated first.
I have to be nominated first.
Oh,
well, I would nominate you, Josh.
You know what's funny? The patterns that happen in these things. ALS is for a good cause.
There's so much discussion right now.
But it starts as like a couple videos on Facebook. Then it becomes this huge worldwide sensation, and then it becomes like a topic of either parody or
annoyance. People get really
like serious discussion, and then eventually it like goes away.
And it goes away. Exactly.
It's funny how it works, right?
Well, I had posted something today just because, I had mentioned it to you last night. You're like, oh, who cares? It's just like whatever. But like, because I just think it's funny, and I do have to say that, I feel like there's a lot of, what people were saying, like it's great in the sense that it has raised so much money. It really has raised an incredible amount of money, especially they say compared to last year at this time. But what I said today, because I really don't think that people were getting this point, because when you do it, okay, if you have the two options, right? You dump the ice water on your head, or you pay $100 if you get called out. If you get challenged, those are your options. But what people fail to say is that you still have to donate, even if you pick pouring water on your head, even if it's $1. Like, because other than that, you're just
it's supposed to be $10.
It's $10, but they say it's like, as long as you're donating something as well as dumping water on your head. If not, you donate $100, whatever. But I feel like people are just, because they don't see that. They're just dumping water on their heads, like, yay, awareness.
Well, exactly.
Like, no, you didn't do anything. You just dumped water on your head. You still have to give money. Like, that's what it is, And
like, so sorry, go ahead.
No. Oh, no, please go.
So I was like, when this whole thing started, I just saw these videos of people dumping water on their head. Like I was sitting there at work and I didn't have sound on. So all these people were just like, I was watching videos. I'm like, man, it seems like a lot of people are just dumping waters on their head for some reason. Like I had no clue. And like, honestly, when I see these ice bucket videos, aside from the celebrities, like Charlie Sheen dumped $10,000 over his head and stuff like that. Like, a lot of athletes, they're dumping shit on their head and then they're donating to charity anyways, which is great. But like whenever I see like my friends dump water on their head, I'm like, dude, you don't have $10 to give the ALS? Like, you know, like what kind of fucking cheapskate are you? Like there should be no ice buckets.
That's the point, is that you do the water, but you also give a donation, because otherwise it's just, you're just feeding into the point that it's just a fucking form of narcissism, you know?
What happens if you don't have any money to donate, or you don't want to donate?
Then you're just a terrible person.
Piece of shit
like
person.
If you don't want to donate.
Then you're just a fucker.
And here's what I have to say, because let me just say something real quick. I hate it.
Surprise, surprise.
I'm sick of seeing it.
It is very exhausting.
But
it is.
What I could say is this, is that all of the stupid ones that we think, you know, when you see your friends do it, or dumb girl, you know, any little kid online dumping water, grandma, grandpa dumping water on their head, and you know they're just doing it because their family said to do it, or your friends did it, or you know, your friend told you to do it, or it's like a cool thing to do in your group of people, and you know they're not donating the money. It's because of those people, though, that it caught fire and it became a trend.
Exactly.
It's sort of the purpose of the whole thing. And now because of that, because of the people that you don't like who aren't donating, you have big people like David Spade, who just gave $100,000. And 50 Cent, who if Mayweather reads a page from Harry Potter, will donate $750,000.
Right.
You know, you catalyzed a movement.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Because that's the whole point, though. It's to bring awareness. It's not necessarily for all of these people to donate, because most people who are getting challenged won't donate. But what happens is it starts a fire in social media, which we all have no choice but to see and see it. And because all these people are doing it, even if you hate it, like I do, you know it exists. Sure. You know about it because you are reminded of it every single day
until it goes
all
away.
over your newsfeed. Everyone
brilliant.
is advertising it.
It
So
is.
even if they're not donating it, enough people have been donating that they are up like $20 million from last year.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna do it, you got to do it right all the way. Like you can't do.
But if that was the case, maybe it wouldn't have done as well. It probably wouldn't have.
It's true. If
Probably
like,
less people would have done it.
$1.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very true. Whatever.
I think the reason it caught fire the way it did is because I think people like to, you know, all those friends that we hate on
It's self-aggrandizing.
Well, like I said, people are like, it's a narcissistic.
It's like, look at fucking me dumping ice on me.
Yeah.
Look at me.
It's also, I think a big part of it is like people will much more likely take a challenge than just donate of their own volition.
Right.
And they also really like to show people that they're donating. It's like those people on your Facebook that are showing that they're like Habitats for Humanity and like doing all these humanitarian things. Like people really love to show people that they're bettering the world in some way. Mm-hmm. So the people that, I mean, whether it be frivolous or not, which usually, I mean, it is if I'm going to go there, but I think people just like telling people that they're doing something for a cause.
And they can show it too with all their little 40-second videos.
Yeah. And I love my favorite ones are the ones where they'll hurt themselves. All those failed ones that are coming out now.
Those are the only ones I like.
Terrifying though. Like some of them are like, oh, it's funny, but some of them are like they like slice their shins open by falling.
Did you see the one with the? It was on the front page of Reddit today. It was Megan was the girl's name, and the kid's standing like under the bleachers, and the girl goes to pour the water, completely misses the guy, all the water, and he looks up, he's like, Megan, what the? And then the bucket falls down and hits the kid right in the head.
Oh my God.
That was great.
That's great.
To show you that one last night with a girl with her blood flowing out of her mouth.
That
and she's
one's
like,
really
good. She's like drugged up on like she got her teeth pulled. And she's like, oh God, dude, my mom comes home. And then like her mom comes home and she's like, oh my God, I'm bleeding. And she like does this crazy like deadpan slapstick, like floop, just like dumps it on her chest. And it's like,
that's the one with the girl. She just got back from the dentist.
She just got back from, she got her wisdom teeth pulled.
Yeah.
And
I like how we have different,
oh.
It's become such a huge thing that there's different, there's different genres of the ALS challenge.
There's the fuck ups, the slapstick.
I like the celebrity.
Yeah.
The celebrity version.
It's Patrick Stewart today.
I didn't see that one, but I want to watch that.
It's like it's like browsing Netflix.
Yeah. Which one should we watch today?
Should we watch where they hurt themselves? Where it's creative, they do a little dance number. Celebrity.
The Dave Grohl one.
I was just gonna say the
carry thing, right?
perfection.
Yeah.
That one's my favorite one so far, no matter
See,
what.
so listen, as much as you hate it,
What am I saying?
as much as you hate it, Greg, and as much as Kate is very picky
Wait,
about.
I said it. I didn't say. I said that I hate it, but I get it.
The whole
I get
thing,
it.
but it is what it is.
It worked. It's good. I just don't like seeing everyone dumping ice on them because I just want everyone to shut up and go away.
Exactly.
Well,
Donate quietly.
Greg rejects trends in ways, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it is a great thing to
I
learn
started
about.
unfollowing people on Facebook because of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
I know, John.
you're not a douchebag.
Yeah.
Josh, thanks so much for hanging out this week, bud. It was really good hearing your voice.
It was good. Yeah, I didn't get to see you, but I heard you.
That's okay. I'll see you next week. And PAX, we're getting there Thursday night, right? We got a hotel room service. We got hookers coming. We got people that want us.
No way! I don't have to review a game for them, do I?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. We have people that want us to
Good one,
botch some
Josh.
reviews for them coming in Thursday night. So we'll see. Kate, thanks so much for hanging out.
You're welcome.
We'd loved you dropping your movie knowledge. And for those of you guys who've never seen Kate, you should definitely check out Play Kate.
Yes. I want to do Lion King.
And you can find her on Twitter at Plasmid Pinup.
At Plasmid Pinup.
Yeah.
That's
She does
me.
cosplay, guys. You're going to
do.
think she's so hot. And
Oh
you're
my
all
God.
going to want to
I
donate to our
love
channel.
her.
You're going to be like, oh my God, look at her play
at that.
video games. Here's $10.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to dump ice water.
So which one of you is going to be Kate's white knight?
Yeah.
Who's going to help her get through video games?
And we also are going to start taking, suggestions for things I can play that you guys want to help me with.
So like any kind of like
Dark Souls? I
No,
don't
no,
know.
any kind of like Mario's missing, like Paint by Numbers,
Yeah.
Sesame Street,
Yeah.
know,
That stuff.
Blue's Clues,
That kind of
Nintendogs,
Nintendogs. Yeah.
things
Give me
like
that
that.
stuff.
Kind of pretty much Greg's favorite games. Greg, thanks
John.
again, man. It's always a pleasure just hanging out with you.
I love it.
It's so good. You did a really good job tonight. We appreciate all your hard efforts and just keeping this thing consistent.
I just want it to be done. I want you guys to leave.
Okay.
Yep, it's a little
Greg ate
late
half my
here.
sandwich today.
Yeah, he did, and
I
he's
didn't
all
know
like,
what he's talking about.
I have proof. I have photographic proof of this beautiful Subway
That was
sandwich
never here.
that was on the counter when we left, and we came back and we called him, and he's all like, I don't know what you're talking about.
As much as I love this story, we're running late. What hour?
But the
and
sandwich was gone. That's what I'm saying.
30 minutes.
All
So
right.
whatever, guys. Thanks so much for hanging
Thank
out
you.
again. It's good to be back in the saddle. We'll talk to you soon. AwayCast.com, theawaycast.com, at theawaycast,
Bye.
GregAndrew.com. If you want to check out some sweet,
He's got his own domain.
if you want to check out some sweet music, as seen on MTV.
There's none of my music's on there, John. It's like an old portfolio from 2 years ago.
You also might want to check out his band, The Limelight.
Oh my! No one gets that, but that's a band from high school that I was in. But anyway,
That's a trip, dude.
All right. This is the worst ending to a podcast. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you.
You play us out with this part.